On November 9, 2020, Attorney General William Barr authorized the Department of Justice to investigate voting irregularity and fraud in the 2020 presidential election. All prosecutors and FBI officers and others should investigate substantial allegations of voting and election irregularities in their jurisdictions. For obvious and apparently credible allegations of irregularities, inquiries and reviews may be conducted. If these suspects are true, they may also affect the results of federal elections in an individual state. He also urged the Department of Justice to adopt an attitude of great care and judgment, and refrain from inquiring about specious, speculative, fanciful, or far-fetched claims. Finally, he pointed out that this authorization should not be taken as an indication that the DOJ has concluded that voting irregularities have impacted the outcome of the election, but to ensure American people trust in the voting process. The Attorney General's authorization will speed up the lawsuit process of election fraud, and it will also exert a powerful deterrent effect on those involved in election fraud. The investigation in Michigan has made more progress in the past days. On November 9th, tens of thousands of unsealed and unsecured ballots arrived in vehicles with out-of-state license plates in Wayne County, Michigan. All those ballots came in at 4:30 a.m. and were cast for Biden. Witnesses already signed sworn affidavits to stand up against voter fraud. More ridiculously, more than 10,000 dead people voted via mailing ballots during this presidential election. On November 10th, Kayleigh McEnany ran through a large number of allegations in 234 pages of sworn affidavits from Wayne County voters. The allegations include 50 ballots were run through tabulation machines multiple times. 60% of a batch of ballots had the same signature. A woman testified that her deceased son voted in the election, etc. Michigan is not the only state that is deeply involved in the controversy of voter fraud. The Trump campaign urged Georgia's top election official to take steps related to the planned vote recount to ensure confidence in our electoral process. The measures advocated by the Trump campaign include verifying voter eligibility and a full hand count of all ballots. It seems that not all people want to see the truth revealed. Google is actively reducing users' exposure to the right-wing party advertisements. To make things worse, the big tech company also stopped some right-wing party from advertising on their platform. In the meantime, Google offered free advertising credits to the Democrats. Censorship on news that people can get exposure is another violation of Americans' autonomy and attempt manipulation of people's thoughts. On November 9th, the Trump campaign team stated that the two-tier system in Pennsylvania had violated the Equal Protection Clause and the Elections and Electors Clauses of the Constitution. Therefore, Trump's team has filed a lawsuit accusing the election process in Pennsylvania of violating the Constitution since it sets bars differently in terms of verification and transparency of mailing and in-person voters. What's more, thousands of ballots were said to be mysteriously delivered to Pennsylvania before they were even mailed out, meaning the real voters' legal ballots were never counted, yet someone had voted illegally on behalf of them. Barbara Cegavske, the Secretary of Nevada, stated on November 9th that her office would continue the investigation on all credible allegations of voter fraud. In the statement, she listed 3 main reasons why it's challenging for the Secretary of State's office to count the exact number of investigations ongoing and the number of voter fraud complaints received so far, including the broad definition of voter fraud, the uncertainty of the true scope of a complaint or investigation, and the lack of evidence. At the end of the statement, it was made clear that election officials would depend on the public to report possible illegal conduct, and if there had been such crimes, they would be thoroughly investigated.